Today we will cover what is hydrography, history of hydrography, importance of hydrography, and the fields associated with hydrography, then a little bit about International Hydrographic Organization. Firstly, it is necessary to consider IHO definition on hydrography, that branch of applied sciences which deals with the measurement and description of features of the seas and coastal areas for the primary purpose of navigation and all other marine purposes and activities, including inter alia offshore activities, research, protection of environment, and prediction services. Hydrography involves measuring the depth of water and fixing the position of all navigational hazards that lies on the sea floor, such as wreck and rock. This is done mainly with specialized ships and boat operating echo sounders and sonars, but also using survey aircraft fitted with lasers, LiDAR, and also useful information can also be derived, sometimes from satellite observation, that is satellite bathymetry. Hydrography also involves measuring the tide and current. The oldest navigational chart known today is chart Paisan. It was drawn on animal skin toward the end of 13th century, probably in Genoa, where a school of marine cartography has been established. There was a similar school in Venice and Isles of Majorca. The charts produced by each of these schools were similar in style and content. In 1584, Lucas Wagner published his great atlas, Mirror of the Sea, containing 45 charts covering European coast from Norway to Strait of Gibraltar. In 16th century, King Charles decided that whole Britain's coast and harbours should be surveyed. For this massive task, he selected a naval officer named Grenville Collins, granted him the title Hydrographer to the King, and provided him with yacht Marley. The work began in 1681 and took 11 years. They used lead line and sextant for the surveys. In 1693, the resulting charts were published in an atlas entitled Great Britain's Coast in Finland, which contained 47 charts and 30 pages of tide tables, sailing directions, and coastal views. Precisely engraved, the chart included sounding and leading lines to harbours, entry, etc. The pilot attracted to British seamen. A further 20 editions be published during the next 100 years. With the development of technology and international conventions, hydrography drastically enhanced its in next few hundred years on its approaches and practice and content. The development of national maritime policy requires a well-developed capability to conduct all activities which will allow the obtaining of basic knowledge of the geographical, geophysical, and geological features of the seabed and coast, as well as the current, tide, and certain physical properties of the seawater. All of these data must then be properly processed so that nature of the sea bottom and its geographical relationship with land and the characteristic and dynamic of the ocean can be accurately depicted in all zones of national shipping. To adequately address fields of competence associated with hydrography, such as maritime transport, coastal zone management, exploration and exploitation of marine resources, environment protection and management, marine science, national spatial data infrastructure, maritime boundary delimitation, maritime defense, as well as tourism, recreational boating, so on. The International Hydrographic Organization is the intergovernmental organization representing hydrography. The principal role of IHO is to ensure that the world seas, ocean, and navigable waters are properly surveyed and charted. It does this through the setting of international standards, the coordination of the endeavors of National Hydrographic Office, and through its capacity building program. IHO enjoys observer status at the United Nations, where it is recognized competent authority on hydrographic surveying and nautical charting. When referring to hydrography and nautical charting in conventions and similar instruments, it is the IHO standards and specifications that are normally used. That's the little bit about hydrography. Thank you.